Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is a VR2 space between the nodes. I've seen Lisa's video and I thought it was a cool VR, so I wanted to share with you as well. As usual, I'm probably going to break the rules, sorry. And there's 4 questions. Sorry, I'm just looking at the questions now. So the first question is, what's your current favorite hug deck? And in general, my current favorite hug deck, it's probably Tarot of Transformation, which you would know, but I don't want to be boring. I've got many decks and a lot of them can be my hug decks. So the one which I'm using recently a lot is this Elemental Tarot or Elemental Rainbows by Carol Herzer. And this deck is really gorgeous. And it is, the second question is, why is it my favorite? It is my favorite because of the colors and how gorgeous the illustrations are and how it feels in the hand, and in general, I love color. So this deck is very colorful. It also doesn't have any names on the cards, which is quite cool to me. So this deck is definitely became right now one of my favorites. And also I received recently from Tracy this amazing intuitive tarot, and it quickly became also one of my hug decks. So right now I'm quite fascinated by this deck as well. It's intuitive tarot, and obviously I have not been using it for very long because it's quite a new deck to me, but it's got that unique intuitive voice that kind of suits itself well for a hug deck. And I actually like to use intuitive tarot every day for daily readings, and I also really love the Spanish tarot. So sometimes I really like the Marseille approach, which is quite clear read, and I practice reading Marseille quite a lot as well, on top of all the other systems. So that Spanish tarot, I love the colors as well, so very similar reasoning, and also the feel of the cards. I've got that vintage version. It's not very vintage, but I think it's like 74 or something like that. So these 3 decks are my hug decks, and then pick one card and share the message. So shall we do maybe the Spanish tarot? Why not? So what message? How can we hug ourselves today? So it's a bit of a young energy, right? So the Emperor, I love how the Emperor claims, the rulership over his kingdom. When I look at the card, the Emperor looks towards the left. So he looks for some reason towards he looks towards the Empress because that's what comes before him, right? And maybe that's the protective quality, and that's how we can hug ourselves, so we can protect what we find valuable, what we find important. We can awaken to that internal power within us, and really, embody it, like take it in. 4 is also a very stable number, and the Emperor has this eagle here, so we also could today hug ourselves and embrace maybe our vision of how we feel empowered, and do an action that actually allows us to feel empowered. Often Emperor also symbolizes a strong male energy in our lives or within ourselves, but we discussed ourselves, so maybe also connecting with our fathers, or connecting with our husbands, or connecting with our partners. We can take him also as something external from us, but I love to look at the cards always from these 2 perspectives. So the internal one, which I usually tend to discuss first, and then the possibility of also externalizing this energy out. And what's your kick-in-the-tush-deck? And I chose the Dark Goddess Tarot because I think it's one of those decks that when I need to really kind of like get a message, shadow message, or in general just you know, see something which maybe I'm not seeing, I get this particular deck, and I love to work with the companion book. You've heard me say it a million of times. So shall we pull one card which what are we not seeing? What shall we pay attention to today? Okay, so, and this is Three of Fire and the powerful Cirque. So she was a very witchy, powerful wizard woman that has had a very powerful magic, and she could turn, for example, humans into animals and stuff like that. So I'm going to just get that little booklet. I have the whole companion book, but for the sake of this, I would like to just read you. So she's Greek goddess of magic and Three of Fire. Ideas have a life of their own. So maybe here we have to pay attention to what we're creating with our ideas and what we're manifesting. How can we manifest things? Maybe in together with that Emperor, maybe, you know, we need permission, and we need to allow ourselves to see how we can use our power to create powerful and good magic in our lives, rather than create mischief for ourselves or for other people. Three of Fire can be also cooperation with others, and can be opening ourselves to a wider perspective. 3 is a very creative number, and Cirque is a powerful magician that can put her ideas into action and manifest them. And since Emperor is such a great manifestation card, maybe today would be a great day to connect, you know, what we think and how we can put it into life and manifest in the material reality. Okay, my friends, thanks to Space Between the Notes for inspiration to do this VR. Nice to connect with you, and I speak to you soon. Bye.